tough loss. Is it hard to move on from that quickly?
We'll review it. It's something that you've got to identify where you can improve and what the issues were from it. And clearly the third quarter was an area where we fell away and Essendon really picked it up. So I think to improve in the climate of AFL football, you've got to identify where you've gone wrong and what's contributed to a loss. So it's not so much dwelling on it, but learning and improving from it. And we've got 8 days from the Friday night through the Saturday to use it as some fuel and some motivation to really improve and go over to Launceston and have a go against Hawthorn.
People have described it as a season-defining game, perhaps for them. Can it be the same way for you guys in that it could really steal you?
Oh, it's just such a long season. I mean, it's a 22-round season and we're up to round 3, so it's only early stages of a really long and testing time and testing season. So. Credit goes to Essendon. They're 3-0 and in really good position. And we've lost the chance to go 3-0, but we're not dictated to it by win and loss. We're dictated to by how we perform and focusing on what we can control. And for us, that's just this week preparing for Hawthorn and round 4, and we won't look any further forward than that. And that's the way we'll view it. We don't look any further ahead than what we can control, and that's Hawthorn this week.
Locke's been made of had struggles. Is it just a matter of time that he's going to get his game together?
Oh, I think the media scrutiny on him's been a little bit unwarranted, I'd imagine. I mean, his record speaks for itself. He's a veteran of the competition and has a fantastic record, and we're right behind him. He's a great attribute for the club as a person, as a player, and as a captain. And the playing group couldn't be more committed to Matthew as a captain. And his form, I think we saw last year, he had a fantastic second half of the season, and there was some media scrutiny on in the first half. But we really value a lot of the things probably outsiders don't really see, and that's forward pressure and taking out their key back each week and being a main focus for the opposition. And I think he's still supplying us with plenty of positive attributes at this point in the season.
Some Freo fans actually gave him a jeer in the last quarter when he took the mark. Would you believe that led to that sort of one of the champions of the club?
I wasn't. I'm not aware of it, and that's probably maybe a frustration thing from the fans' point of view. But as I said, we really value what Matthew brings to the table. The fans obviously want to see him kicking 6 and 7 goals like we all do, but we really value his pressure and his ability to bring the ball to ground, which Friday night was one of those games where it was never going to be a walk in the park for a key forward, but the amount of times he provided a contest, brought the ball to ground for guys like Chris Mayne and Michael Walters and Hayden Ballantyne was really positive for us. So I think that can't be overlooked.
Like your record at Launceston is pretty bad. I think it's about 1 out of 9. Is there any reasons why the club struggled at the ground?
I probably can't really comment on that because I've only played there once, and that was last year. But we can't dwell on a record like that, considering we've played there probably over a span of 10 years, and the amount of players that have played there regularly is irrelevant really, because this time last year, we were just going to the Essendon game last week. Ross made mention that when we played Essendon last year, we had 11 personnel changes to what the team that took the park on Friday night, and that's only 9 months ago. So it'll be a similar story this week with the team that played Hawthorn last year. There'll probably only be 10 or 11 of the same outfit, and we're really just focused on the 22 that'll take the field this week and putting in process a plan to take on the Hawks.
Your record has improved though in a place like Etihad. So if a ground's less familiar because you play there so less than somewhere else, does that make it more challenging?
I don't think so at all. From my personal viewpoint, it's basically just a patch of grass with 4 sticks at each end, and we'll try and go out there and play the Fremantle brand that we've really trained hard and developed over the last 18 months with Ross in the system. So that's all we can control.
Hawthorn are one of the most attacking teams in the competition. You guys are known for your defensive press. It's a good chance, I suppose, to test that side of your game out, that Fremantle brand of football.
Oh, well, we test it every time we train and we play. I think that's a really big change we've allowed over the last probably 18 months is the way we train, and that's with 100% intensity and training, as you probably hear so often, the way we want to play. And to play well, you've got to implement it on the training track, and we'll just be doing that and following the process we have for the last 18 months.
But in terms of specifically shutting down the Hawks, who seem to have so many guns, I suppose?
Oh, well, the AFL is such a brutal competition at the moment. Every week you come up against teams with fantastic attacking options, and Hawthorn are no different, and that's a reason why they're probably at this stage of the season the premiership favourites. So we'll definitely put in some work to guys like Buddy Franklin and Luke Hodge, who probably played the game of his career on the weekend. So we'll definitely have a look at that, but probably later on in the week.
What do you think Luke Hodge brings to the Hawks?
Oh, he's just a really admirable player, someone that hunts the ball, and obviously he kind of has that really good mix of inside and outside abilities, can win his own ball, and his skills are second to none. So, and his experience and obviously leadership is valued at the Hawthorn. So there's not too many knocks on him, and that's the reason he's been a fantastic player for them for 10 years. And we'll have to probably put some work into him this week, and whether it be Ryan Crowley or a midfielder, Dave Mundy or Nath Fife, myself, working off him and working on him at the same time. It's something we'll identify later on in the week.
And Luke McCullum would obviously be pretty crucial against Buddy. Have you seen him?
Oh, Luke's crucial every week. He's been a 10-year plus player for a reason, and just such a consistent performer for us. And I saw him this morning. He seems fine, but he'll go through the protocol that's required. And later on in the week, we'll find out whether he's available. And if so, fantastic. If not, we're really confident in the depth of backline availability we've got.
Michael, what about Zach Clark? Do you think he has a chance to come back? Obviously, he can come into the ruck and do a bit of tap work.
Yeah. He's had just a little bit of a niggle for the last few weeks. So he hasn't trained. I think he's coming back into training probably at some stage this week. So we'll see. It's up to the match committee to see if he's got the appropriate, footy minutes into in his legs to come in, or whether we stick with what's been going with John and Kepler, who have been doing really well for us. So that's up to the match committee. But yeah, Zach will give himself every chance.
You won the clearances last week by a fair margin. The Hawks again this week. Something you'd be looking to do again, but obviously you want to create a win out of it this time.
Yeah, we did win the clearances. Obviously, it's a crucial part of the game, but we got done on the weekend on the scoreboard, but won the clearances quite comfortably, which is something we'll identify. I think their clearances, probably especially in the third quarter for Essendon, were a lot more damaging and created a lot more inside 50s and damaging inside 50s. So as a midfield group, we really identify. We know for a fact that Hawthorn are going to get their hands on the ball in the middle at various points in the game. You can't win the clearances 120-0. So they're going to get their chances, but we've just got to identify ways in which we can minimise their impact and force them wider and further out from goal than probably what we were able to do against Essendon at points on Friday night.
Mike, 50 games for you this week. It must be a little milestone, but somewhat satisfying.
Yeah, I actually had completely forgotten about it until Monday. I think Mum and Dad might be going over to Launceston, short little flight for them. So, and I said, "What's the occasion?" They said, "I think you're playing 50 games." So that'll be exciting, more so from I think my family's perspective, and I just focus on one game at a time. And I know it's an old cliche, but it's probably something with my background. It's a philosophy I really try and approach, and it'll be no different to my 23rd game or 16th game. I'm just really looking forward to pulling on the jumper for the Fremantle Football Club, because I'm forever indebted to the place, and they've been fantastic for me, providing me with the opportunity to be an AFL footballer, and I'm really comfortable with where I'm at as a footballer and a person. So just again, looking forward to it as I have my last 49 games.